Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Ask the Accountant, episode number 102. The date is the 14th of October, 2024, and we're here for your listening pleasure. As always, I'm with my co-host, Jan. Jan, how has your week been?
Good morning, good morning. Yeah, busy as always, spinning all my plates, having meetings and conversations, planning the future of Engager. Really need to spend some time in my own firm, actually. But I'll get on with that this week. And then spent the weekend up north. Went up north to Aberdeenshire.
I was going to say, how do you go up north? Is there any more north?
Well, about 2.5 hours further north, actually. And that wasn't up north. Right? That was still only 2/3 of the way up the country from Scotland. So, yeah, went up to Aberdeenshire to see to my wife's family home, as it were, for her mum's side of the family. We do it every October. So yeah, but it was a very chilled weekend, all in all. So yeah, nice. How about yourself? You've been all over the place.
Yes, we'll talk about my trip to London in the main section of the show. But yeah, I was away. I was at another comedian this weekend. So Ed Gamble, do you recognise the name?
Ed
Gamble? Yeah. Went to see Ed Gamble at Nottingham. It was really random, actually. So the week before that, we went to see a comedian called Max Fosh, who's a YouTuber, and we were sat front row on seats 9 and 8, and this time we were at seats 10 and 11 on same front row, so we're literally 2 seats across from one another, going from there. So that was good fun. Yeah, really good. In fact, sitting on the front row, you kind of sit there going, oh, this is going to be a worry, isn't it? We're going to get targeted, but actually absolutely fine. Speaking of being fun,
I went to watch James Acaster last year, and if I'm honest,
a bit meh? Yeah.
It was a bit meh. Yeah.
Is it? I mean, they're from the same. In fact, they have a podcast together, don't they? They're
they do.
In the same rings,
my wife listens to constantly.
Yeah. It was good. I thought, it was very apt for us because he was talking about his honeymoon in Vegas, and obviously we just come back from Vegas, so it was quite nice to have that kind of element there.
Oh, I can relate.
Yeah, he talked about air fryers, again, can relate. Wow. So yeah, look, it was just a good, so nice to have a good night out and just to let your hair down, sort of thing. So that was good fun. Speaking of good fun, what about our amazing community? We've got Natasha here. Good morning, Natasha. We've got Paul here. Good morning, Paul. We've got Dave here. Good morning, Dave. We've got Kirsty here. Good morning, Kirsty. We'll ignore yours or your comment in a minute, Dave, and come back to it. Clive, good morning, Clive. We'll talk about that in a moment. And Marcus, good morning. And Melissa. Hello, Melissa. Good morning and good to have you along with us. As always, you guys are here to keep us honest. So if we say anything out of order, then let us know straight away and let us know your opinions and let us know how you think about the news of today. Speaking of the news, let's go straight into it. And we have to start with the Accounting Excellence Awards 2024. So remind me, Aaron, you went to last year's or was it the year before?
I went to the one where the Queen died. So what's that, 4 years ago? 3 years ago? 3 years ago now.
No.
Yeah. It was we knew she wasn't well during the day, and while we were having our welcome drinks, the news broke that she'd passed away. So whilst it was a very good night, it was very somber and respectful in many ways. So yeah, very well organized and ran by the organizers, and some quick adaptations to make it more appropriate. So fair play to them for that. But yeah, it was 3 years ago now since I went to the Accounting Excellence Awards.
That's crazy, isn't it? I can't believe that's 3 years ago. Wow.
Flies.
Time is flying. So yeah, I think very similar layout as we always have. It was throughout the night, I was a little bit kind of not gutted, but I was a little bit kind of taken back by the fact that we could have been there as part of Ask the Accountant. We were still on the poster and all that sort of stuff. But originally we had the opportunity to go there and do a bit of a grid walk and everything else. And I think, if we get the opportunity again, we really should. It's such a cool event to have that.
Just to clarify, it wasn't our decision not to do it. It was the organisers had double booked and miscommunication between one organiser who left and another one that started. And
Yeah, exactly. There's no bad blood or anything. It was just
No.
a shame it didn't work out, because I think that would be a very cool event to be able to do that sort of thing. But anyway, so we had our we had our starting point where we all sat in the top bit. I'm sure it'll be exactly the same as you. You kind of start at the top bit where you kind of all come in. In fact, prior to that, one thing I would highly recommend other vendors do is QuickBooks got us all into a little pub over the road to begin with, so we all walked in together. So I thought that was quite nice. I think that's definitely something to recommend. And then we all stood at the top, having the chats. And what I do like about these events was the fact that yes, there's everyone from our industry there that we love to speak to and everything else, but also there's people there that don't normally go to events. Like, you know, people are bringing all of their team along with them because they're up for an award, for example. So it's nice to kind of speak to people that I've known of or trained before, or, you know, when I'm back in the corporate life, like used to be involved with and stuff like that. It was just nice to kind of see a different variety of people, which is nice to kind of bring those people there. They did the whole reveal when they open up the curtains and you get to see the thing in front of you. So that was really nice. And then the first strange part of the night for me was Nick Williams comes up to me and goes, "Oh, we've got to do a video about you being a finalist." And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm not up for anything this year. I'm not involved. I didn't get any of the categories." Oh, so there's a bit of confusion. And they went, "Oh, no. You don't know about this award yet, but there's an award and you're up for a finalist." Oh, okay. So we did a little talk and everything else. And then they got the other finalist to have a little talk as well. And then we sat down. And I, again, didn't really think anything of it. But Nick went up to do his intro because he was part of the the main sponsor and everything else. So we got to help with the opening remarks. And so I think there was a big push for Fab. So Fab's had a real big push this year, which you kind of expect, right? Like they're going to push through. So yeah, that should be good to see.
Same organisers.
Yeah. So looking forward to it. Same menu. So 2-day event in Birmingham should be good fun. And then we had a nice little surprise as they announced the winners of the Hero Behind the Hero Awards. And that's when I got to go up on stage and collect my prize. So wow. Like, yeah, especially when you don't know that's going to happen. That was a very nice thing to happen. Then we had Rob Beckett came on stage while we were eating our food. That was very good. We were at the front, so we kind of prepared to be, you know, attacked. I would say, I remember last year, wasn't it, where they had a bit of a dig at Sage and stuff, and there were jokes involving the accounting industry being thrown out there. Wasn't that much to do with the accounting industry. I felt like he was a bit, you know, rabbits in a headlight a little bit about. He was obviously really funny, but
yeah, I mean, I've seen some clips on social media of him, and as much as last year's guy really irritates me, I don't think he's funny at all. I think he's an absolute useless idiot. What's his name? I can't. Just the bold guy who does Bake Off Extra Slice.
Yeah, I was about to say Bake Off Extra guy. Yeah, that's all I know.
I can't even remember his name. He upsets me that much. But at least he researched the industry.
Yeah, and brought some jokes about the industry. Yeah.
And the year before that, I can't never remember his name either, but we had a Nigerian comedian who, again, he'd really spent time getting to know the industry. He'd obviously asked questions. He'd done his research because he could make some really good, quick comments and stuff about different softwares. And they were in line with what we see on social media and stuff. Whereas from what I saw, Rob Beckett didn't really do that.
Not about the industry. I mean, it was very funny. Like, he was funny. And he when, you know, he had a jip about QuickBooks not being so quick or something like that. So there was but that was because it was fed to him because someone said, "Oh, it's so and so." But yeah. But then what do you expect, right? Like, I suppose he doesn't spend his time sitting there talking all about the world of accountancy, does he? So he's got more important things on his mind. But yeah, apart from that, it was a really good event. Then we went on to the awards. I'll be completely honest, we had a lot of people that we were gunning for, that we knew in the nominations, we were hopeful for, and everything else. For us personally, especially on the people in our table and kind of our clique, if you like, none of our people who were up for it won. So that was a slight shame. But hats off to everybody who won. The ones we want to talk about is Small Firm of the Year, Kennedy Accountancy, sponsored by Intuit QuickBooks. So congratulations to them. There was some regional winners as well. So congratulations to each one of them. We have to talk about Bishop Fleming because they pretty much won
everything.
Pretty much everything else. So they were there and went through. But yeah, some brilliant winners, brilliant people that came on. Great night all round. Little boogie afterwards. That was good fun. And it was great to see a lot of the community there as well. As Kirsty says, it was her first visit to the Accounting Excellent Awards. Really enjoyed it. Huge congratulations to Aaron. Thank you very much. Glad I was there to celebrate with you. Amazing to see all the national finalists. Yeah, it was really, really humbling. She also mentioned it was Tom Allen. That's the name we were forgetting.
I still don't remember. Yeah. Irritating person. That's just what that's what he's named as in my head. That irritating guy.
Yeah, but your wife loves him, so you've got to have some sort of.
That's what irritates me even more. It's her poor taste in comedians. Such a slap when she gets home.
Thanks to Dave for the congratulations. And Clive says, "Good morning, lads. Loved Aaron's POV video from the Accounting Excellent Awards. Hope he leaves those glasses outside the bedroom." So yeah, I mean, you don't wear yours anymore, which is a bit of a disappointment. You seem to have started wearing them, but I finally found the real Quen de la Quen. Like, I'm never going to be able to relive that moment any better than actually walking up and then walking back down stage, right?
No, it's they've definitely got their uses. I just don't like the frames. They look too thick on my head. I don't like the photos of me wearing them. Very vanity led and vain. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, they are Ray-Banned.
I just don't. Yeah, they're not the right style of glasses for me personally. But the technology and stuff in them, incredible. Whether we will ever get to the point in the next few years where they're slim enough to fit in some glasses like this size, which suit my head better, then who knows?
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I mean, you're not even carrying them around with you because that's all I do. These are my main glasses, and then
they go in the bag. Yeah, but I always forget about them.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Right? Yeah.
It's easier to have a Katie with me that films everything that I do.
That is definitely the easiest way of doing it. But it was great to kind of have that POV, wander in, wander around, all that sort of stuff was wicked. Yeah, really, really enjoyed it. And great to see it. And I tried to make sure with the award that and the phrase you'll hear all the time was, "It's not my award, it's your award." So I tried to make sure that people were taking photos with the award. It's like their award. So we've got an amazing montage of everyone taking it. And I'm going to try. I'm sure Luca won't be upset if I try and bring it to Luca's stand as well, and give everyone an opportunity to have photos who wasn't at the event as well. So we can continue that little montage, because it'll be cool at the end of the year to kind of see everyone who's had a photo with their heroes behind their heroes award. So that's Accounting Excellent. Brilliant event. Again, congratulations to all the winners. I felt a bit weird going on stage afterwards because it felt like, well, I'm not a real winner. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't win one of those
fake award.
Yeah, kind of made up, or not made up award, but like I wasn't on their list of nominees or anything. But yeah, it was cool to be on that stage. Cool to, rub shoulders with the likes of Bishop Fleming and all the others that were there. So very, very, very cool. So
I'll make up an award so you can come on the stage at Engager Labs as well. Don't worry, mate.
I think I'm done with awards now. I mean, now I could say I can now tell them when I'm a multi-award winner. So that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. Rachel says your wife's poor taste in communion is the reason she married you. I mean.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, actually, spot on that, Rachel, spot on. Tim says, this isn't my award, this is everyone's award. Game was good fun. Yeah, and we got some surprising people to come along to that one. I thought I'd beef with certain members of the industry, but apparently not. But if you put an award in their face, they're more than happy to have a chat with you. So it's a great way of mending bridges. Kirsty says, yes, I like the POV, and that does explain why not as much surprise as I thought that you had some notice. Yeah, I know, yeah. But literally, 20 minutes before, but not notice I'd won it, notice I was being nominated for this award. I didn't know when it was going to be announced or anything else. So yeah,
it wasn't on the slides or anything.
Yeah. I was, yeah, it was, but very, really humbled to have that award. I think, especially that one, because it, is a campaign we've definitely got behind. Great campaign, and great to be nominated and winning that one. And yeah, very, very good. All right, what happened the day after? Well, the day after, we went to Intuit QuickBooks, and we went to do a bit of VR. So a couple of us went down to kind of showcase. I basically bought every VR unit I have available. So we had the Apple Vision Pro, as you can see behind me there. We had the Meta Pro, the Meta 3, our XR glasses that we like to kind of show off as a bit of a gimmick, and nothing more than a gimmick though. And when QuickBooks knew that we were kind of basically doing a video of where VR could be and what the productivity side of it, because like you say, like what the only thing you're interested in VR, and especially the Apple Vision Pro, is what productivity can you actually get from it? Is there any bit, is there any world of it for us accountants and going forward? And we were humbled by the fact that Jake from Accounting Web kind of got whiff to this and wanted to come down and kind of have a chat, see if there's any angle maybe that they could do a story later down the line or something like that. And just have a bit of a nosy about how the technology is and where we are. So it's a really good, fun day, really, of just playing with gadgets and playing with the toys and sharing what it can do and trying to get a video. We've got enough content to think about putting a video together. We're just a bit concerned it might be a very long video. I mean, it was like 3 hours worth of content
the last
recorded.
VR video we didn't go very well, did it?
It didn't. No.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we didn't help you. Weren't very good at golf, but apart from that,
yeah.
But yeah, you got to pick your and it's really difficult to do a video in VR because the thing about VR is your experience, isn't it? Like, and it's really difficult to portray what your experience is. Like, the most impactful way for people to ever look at VR is to stick a headset on and figure it out for themselves, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, VR is definitely a very cool tool. For me, entertainment in VR is a side product. Like, if I'm going to have VR for work, then it needs to be productive, as we've already said. And yeah, until I'm convinced of that productivity, the comfort of you wearing it all day, every day, etc., and the usability of it, because let's face it, like, as much as I'd love to work off my iPad all day, every day,
yeah,
it's just not usable all day, every day, because the UI is not the same for websites and stuff like that. Like, until it is as efficient or more efficient as using multiple monitors, then, and a keyboard and mouse, then yeah, I'm not sold, and I don't think any of the units out there are at the point where I could wear them all day, every day, and not have side effects.
No, 100%. And they're not at that point yet. But there are definitely bits there, and it's like anything, isn't it? Like, you become beta testers for this, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many times have we tried a new piece of software, or we've tried a new piece of AI, knowing that there's bugs and everything else, but we take that we take that because we want to help, improve the product or make it something that's there, right? And I do feel like at the moment VR is very much a beta product, but some of the stuff we can do, and we do have a follow-up video to do where we're going to do a actual virtual meeting, because I wasn't aware of some of the enhancements in the meeting side of things, because I've always used a solution that is native to the Meta experience. It's called Meta Workroom, something along those lines.
Yep.
And the idea there, I've done a video before. You go into a virtual office, you can draw on the wall, you can put your stuff up there, and basically you can have that virtual meeting in a virtual room and kind of go from there. But there are third parties that are doing far better. If anything, the Meta workroom place has actually been downgraded. So they've taken some of the features away from us, which kind of proves to you that they're not that interested. And in fact, my Meta Pro there, so the one that's designed for pro use, has been discontinued now. So even Meta themselves are going, can't see this being a use case for the pro workforce, can't see this going forward. And they've downgraded their apps and everything else. So it does look like Meta themselves aren't really taking professional use all that seriously. But from the consumer units, there's still opportunities, there's workarounds, there's chances for you to be more productive. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting video if we can kind of get it to work. We're just a bit conscious that there's way too much content there, so we're going to try and figure out how to put it down to either 1 or 2 videos or however it's going to work. But I think it's something to keep an eye on, definitely. And it's a shame, isn't it? Because that XR glasses technology, from a comfort point of view and a ease of use point of view, they should be the ones, right? They should be the absolute winners. But they just don't work for us, do they, in reality?
No, not at all. It's one of those things. You and I love playing and testing these things, but we also know that actually it's very unlikely anything we test and play with at the moment will result in a oh my god moment that will be revolutionary to how we work and result in me scrapping all my monitors and stuff. That it's just not going to happen yet. It will come.
Yeah.
And because we're constantly testing, we'll probably get to that moment before most people will. That's about it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, so keep an eye out for that video. Keep an eye out for if Jake does put anything on to Accounting Web or anything. I know he was pleasantly surprised in some of the features because he never touched VR in his life.
Okay, so
and I think that's the thing, right? Like, your first experience of it is a bit of a wow moment, but when you get into the depths of it, actually, what can you do with this kit at the moment?
I'll be honest. I feel my first time wasn't the wow moment I was hoping for because because of the XR glasses. I don't think they had enough of a wow for me to go wow, and I'm not even convinced the Meta Pro was enough of a wow to go wow. In hindsight, should I have waited for the Apple headset? Yeah, probably, but it's too late now. That first time's gone.
First time, you only get one first time impression, right? That's the whole issue, isn't it? So, yeah. Oh, I don't know though. Even I'm not convinced of the Apple Vision Pro. I don't think Apple are either. Let's be honest. Like, they've not really brought the extra features out we're expecting. And it's interesting as well that like you said about working on the iPad's not a native application with it or anything. It's still they see you using your laptop or desktop Mac with the device. They don't see you doing any real work with your iPad. And I think that says a lot about iPad OS and where that's going and all that sort of stuff that's coming with it. So interesting times. If you want, at least everyone listening can know that we're the idiots who are going to try these things out for you. And when we find one that works, we'll let you know. But at the moment, keep your money where it is. Do not spend any money on this sort of stuff. Cool. All right, let's talk about some nice updates. Oh, actually, we've got some chat. Tim says we thought about doing something productive the day after accounting, and I'll be completely honest with you all. I should have gone to bed a little bit earlier. It was like a 2-3 o'clock finish or something. So that next day was fine, but I think I could have been more productive with a little bit more sleep. But I do like the idea.
Your head or the lack of focus in the headset.
I think both. That was not the experience to be doing after that, put it that way. We thought about doing something productive the day after, but we went to the zoo and said, I don't blame you. I do not blame you.
Great day out in London too.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Hopefully after Luke Awards we can be a bit more productive though, Tim. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But more on that later. Clive says, the QuickBooks accountant, he says, new report this weekend, 90% of CEOs see a return to the office full time. How's On Point Accounting doing with sending everyone back to the office?
We never had an office to send them back to. We've always been work from home. Always 100% work from home. I've tried having an office for me to go to for client meetings and stuff. It doesn't really work. It's an expensive waste of time for us. The problem is the people that are in CEO roles at this moment in time, majority of them are trained in old school management and leadership. And that involves micromanagement. They have this belief that you have to be face-to-face to build a relationship, blah, blah, blah. I think as those CEOs are replaced with the younger generation, who have got more tech skills, more understanding of how social skills work on technology-based platforms, that will improve the leadership and management skills, which will result in more distance working. But
you reckon distant working will ever be in VR?
Yeah, it will do one day. It's just not there today. I think this is just a case that I'd like to see the demographics of that. The CEOs asked about that report, because I pretty much guarantee 90% of them are over 40. If you then tested their tech skills, they're probably limited. And they think back on old school ways of working, and that's the way I was taught, so that's the way it has to be. Whereas if you get some of the newer, younger CEOs and the aspiring leaders and managers in workplaces, you'll find they will be far better prepared and able to succeed in distance working. So yeah, I will continue championing that point of view until I'm out old and out of touch.
I think the other thing is, though, that CEOs have stakeholders that are putting pressure on them. That's the other part of it, isn't it? Because these stakeholders are thinking, well, why have you got this big office space that's not being used, or whatever the pressure that they're under. So there is kind of that aspect of it as well. I mean, at Bofix, we don't have our office anymore. We have got rid of our office, but more than ever, we're looking at a few hybrid solutions every couple of months. Like, we're really lucky that we can still put together co-working space and get the team over there, and then we do more strategic days working on the business and trying to find ways and find issues that we can solve and stuff like that. So we really like that, and especially for the younger team members we've got, they really enjoy just having that little moment where we can head to an office and figure out problems and stuff. So we are actively looking at ways to do that. I think our next hire, we will definitely kind of continue let's have 2 to 3 to 4 weeks in an office environment. Let's just get that first bit of training nailed. Let's figure that bit out. So I highly recommend more of a hybrid approach. I think that works really well. I think that's definitely something that we can all look at, and we can all figure out together, because I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if being in the office is the only way or being remote's the only way. But I do think hybrid's definitely something that everyone can benefit from, because it's best of both worlds, isn't it? So yeah, opportunities there. But then people like yourselves, hybrid will never work, right? Like, that's a huge expense, huge and a huge inconvenience for everyone, right? Like, you're all over the UK or world in some aspects, right? Like, having that hybrid approach just wouldn't work for you, right?
Yeah, we're happy with our level of success, and we're happy with our growth, etc., etc. But would we have been more successful if we were in person? I don't know. I mean, we'll be more successful than Aaron's currently being with his webcam. I mean, different angles going on over there. But yeah, so that it basically don't be dictated to by a report. You do what works for you is the overall answer. What I do won't work for everyone, and I get that. I had a chat with someone the other day, and he was like, "Oh," so he was looking at selling his business, and it's like, "Oh, well, you could get rid of the office because the whole team want to work from home." So right, so why don't they? Like, do you not want them to work from home? Oh no, I'm happy for them to work from home. Blah blah blah. It's like, hang on. So you've got a team that wants to work from home, allegedly. You've got an owner that wants them to work from home, is happy for them to work from home, but they're all working 5 days a week in the office.
Yeah.
Which one's talking and which one's taking action? Like,
there's
a problem somewhere. But yeah, just do what works for you guys. That's the only solution, basically.
Yeah. Tim's got a really good point though. Have you met Gen Z? I mean, I don't like the phrase Gen Z. That's what's the other one as well? Was it Gen A now? Is it?
I mean,
yeah. But I spent all day showing them how to convert a PDF or right click something, and he has a point. Like, the IT skills are terrible these days, and I don't understand why. Like, surely they use it more than ever before.
Skills. Like, so if you look at me and my brother, right? There's 6 years between us.
Yeah.
I went through school. We only just got word processor in Excel. Then my brother went through school and he could code leading programs and rebuild a computer from scratch for you. Like that's a 6-year gap in education and how things evolve and change. But could he do any of the basics? No. He wasn't proficient in Word, but he can strip that computer down, rebuild it, and build the software for you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
The
other aspect as well is,
balance.
I think the younger generation, some of them actually crave going to the office, right? We lost a really good member of staff, mainly because it just got to the point where he wanted to be in an office environment. He wanted that banter, he wanted to have that chat, so he wanted to have those sort of things. So it's really, really difficult. I don't think there is an answer out there that will solve everyone, but yeah. What else we got? Clive says KPMG report 10th annual CEO report. So that's clarification of that one. And Paul says, still have an office at 56% of my clients are still wanting to do face-to-face meetings. It's just me in the office most times, but we use staff catch-up once a week. Yeah, I'd argue that's your client demographic, right? Like, I don't have a single client who would care for it. In fact, they'd think nothing worse than having a face-to-face meeting, if I'm completely honest, because that takes them out of their work and they think.
Yeah. I mean, out of 700 clients, I think we've got 3 or 4 where we have face-to-face meetings, and that's purely because we like to have it over coffee and cake, and they're down the road from me, and that's nice.
And they're more than likely going to be your historical clients, right? That you took from the early days.
Low value and but they're just exactly people that you don't mind going for a coffee and cake once or twice a year.
Yeah. Whereas a lot of mine love, I mean, they first booked their initial PNT call with me with us was because they got to go to a calendar, pick a date that worked for them.
That's exactly how we work now.
Yeah. And I think it's really difficult to kind of find that bit for them. They still don't teach them how to use it. Tell me about it, Cheryl. Tell me about it. How many times? Like, not one member of my team has ever come through the door who knows how to do an if statement. They should teach if statements as a thing, because it's logic, right? Like, it just helps them develop it.
The amount of accountants and bookkeepers in the last 6 months that I've had to teach basic bod maths to, because they don't understand brackets and to do a pricing formula. It's like, come on, guys, this is like the one thing I learned after year 9 in maths at school that I thought, actually, I might use this in day-to-day life.
And it could be useful.
Trigonometry, circumferences of circles, what a load of rubbish. But bod maths, use that day in, day out.
Yeah, exactly right. Dave says he likes to work from the office, and that's the thing, right? We're kind of at a point where there's a big divide. Like, some of us are still very much office based, but I think the nice thing is there's enough clients out there. Probably not enough talent out there, unfortunately, but that's a story for another day. But there's enough clients out there that can work on both sides of things. But when it comes to things,
I like having that
Jen Alpha is coming.
Like, I've got this office space in my garden, so I feel separation from home. I wouldn't be as productive and enjoy life as much if I was sat on the sofa all day, every day doing this.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have that. Yeah. And I do feel sorry for some of my team members who don't have a separate room. You know, they don't have that luxury, and that is definitely part of it. I had an apprenticeship who had to show how to use a paperclip. Paperclip? My question would be, why using paper clips? Like, what?
Why have you got paper?
You probably have to teach me how to use a paper clip again nowadays. Do you know what I mean? The last time I tried to use a bit, but what's this thing called paper? I don't understand what it is. But yeah, I can imagine that's at least Paul, just make sure they know how to make a cup of tea, and you'll be absolutely golden.
Oh, they know how to use a kettle. It's all right.
Yeah. Let's get back to basics, people. Basics. All right. KPM had a nice little update. They have, so anyone who doesn't know, KPM is a cloud-based accounts production, tax return production, corporation tax production, payroll production, bookkeeping. There's a bit of company secretarial. There's a practice manager solution in there, but we don't talk about that. They've got the whole suite of accounting excellence in there, and they've just rolled out a update. Now, I got beer in my bonnet a little bit. This was an update I requested probably 5 years ago now. Maybe, yeah. at least 5 years, right?
You've got a good habit of choosing softwares where it takes them 5 to 6 years to develop anything you ask for, haven't you?
Finally deliver it. But now it's here, so I can't complain. So the update they've come. Oh, I've just noticed. Apologies to everyone who normally comes into Instagram because I went to the wrong Instagram thing. So sorry about that. Yeah, KPM. Yeah. We used to get quite a few of the Instagram people, didn't we, as well? KPM's update is for. Yeah. KPM's update is for the self-assessment and collecting of data. Now, my practice management solution of choice that has a brilliant way of collecting my self-assessment data. It's very, very, very useful. I can send it out to clients and they can fill the information in and then go from there. One slight problem of that is then I have to grab that data and manually put it into my tax return software of choice. But KPM has decided against that. No, don't be doing that. So if you send a return through the link, the self-assessment checklist through them, nice fit. Number one is it doesn't go through a portal. So it's not a let's sign them up to another portal that they have to get, none of that. As long as they know their national insurance number or their UTR number, they can get access to it. So it's password protected to
That's
get into the national insurance. You should be all right with, right? Yeah, potentially, but at least we're not having to have a portal. So I'd much prefer that than not having a portal, right? Send that, they put that information in, and they are presented with their tax return checklist. The idea is that they can then fill it in, all interactive, all that sort of stuff, and it auto populates your tax return software for you. So very nice. We like this. We do like this. We do like this.
Do we?
Unfortunately, well, what God? Before I go, some of the
my
kind of
concern, right, by their information direct filling in, is where's the sense check level? Because
you do the sense check
so
afterwards.
easy. Yeah, but they're so easy when that information's in the tax return form to go past something by mistake that could be wrong, and it causes issues. So like when we do forms in Engager, nothing auto saves into the client's records. You have to review and approve it all. Because we know how useless clients can be.
Oh no, you still review and you have to you publish.
So it doesn't feed straight into the SA100.
No. It's just the option is when you've gone through a review, there's a little button above that says publish to self-assessment. Boom, and off to that. So yeah, so in printable it's there. I don't want to be too critical because I think sometimes we do get critical. Like we should be happy that this is here. But this is definitely an example of where that principle sounds amazing. And in theory, and like in practice, when I've used it, because I used it against myself, I kind of sent myself one and filled it all out. Really, really nice. The only problem is the workflow is a little bit like banging my head against a brick wall of who thought of this through. So it's very much like you have to generate it and then tick a box and you have to go back to another area. And then it's one of those where clearly they didn't go, let's watch an account like what Client Engage is doing at the moment, where you're going to practices to go, well, show me how are you using this feature, because in your mind it works perfectly, and then you'll watch them and they'll be like clicking over here and then putting over there and having to, it's that user feedback area that there's lacking, and I think an amazing feature.
The reason we had to move away from KPM in the end and go to TaxCalc was the backwards and forwardsing was horrific. Like, it's an ongoing issue for the KPM product. Is what they have is actually phenomenally powerful.
Yeah,
but actually, you lose all that benefit or majority of it by the inefficient way that they get you to go backwards and forwards and into it. Like it's just fiddly, and unless you know it, you don't know your way around. And and
I think they're in a really good spot where they can, like, they definitely can fix all this. They just need to go, right, let's stop, halt development for a little bit on some of the new features, and let's just go back to the UI. Let's just fix those little bits and get them there.
Some softwares where we know, regardless of how you get to the end result's still wrong.
Yeah,
like they've got to fix the main feature and the way they do it. For us, for KPM even, like they've just got to sit and watch the users and accept actually their developers don't know best. But there's a huge ego thing there for any software company of just because the co-founders or product development team or developers have said this is how you do it, that doesn't mean that's right. That doesn't mean that's the best way. And that's why we're going out to people and sitting and watching them, as you said, because they know best. If it doesn't come naturally, then there's a problem. We need to fix it.
Yeah, and not and even like getting a small collective of say 10 users, you'll probably find that actually when you put it out there to 100, 200,000 users, it's going to be even different, more different use cases and more different things not being thinking, right? Like we're all doing it our own way, and I think that's one of the things that software we need to kind of keep drilling home to software, that there is particular ways in which as accountants we want to do things, but also we just need that little bit of we want the Swiss Army knife so we can go and tackle a particular problem our way, right? Like, and I think that's something that's been lost at the moment. But saying all that, that's my only criticism of it. I think actually it's working really well. I love the idea of just being able to send that to a client. And they definitely have opportunities to improve it even further. So at the moment, it's not populating like your P60s and stuff at this point in time, but that's something that will come later down the line. So that, if they had a P60 last year, it will be basically saying, oh, you were at ABC Limited, and put it in there. And I could definitely see as well later down the line opportunity maybe to upload a document there and then. That'd be really powerful. Like, here's the supporting document of what I'm telling you. Here it is. It's all included. I think that, really, really like it. I think that's a great one.
These new rules that have just come out in proof of expenditure for employees.
So, but we need them more now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we need that feature more now than we've ever needed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's where the payroll people could help us on that one. Rachel says, have you got a link to KPM? I need to explore this. Definitely, Rachel, just reach out. I'll get you hooked up and everything with them, and definitely have a look. But yeah, I love using KPM. I've used it for a long time. I have my frustrations with it, but I do with every software. When have I ever sat there and been, pure, even client engagers, there's room for improvement there, you know what I mean? Like but yeah, I'm really happy with this update, and definitely go check this out. Let's skip the next one and let's go straight to a comment that you've just brought in there, a nice little segue for us. So the payroll site, a payroll software, will shut down at the end of 24-25 tax year. So this is really, really upsetting news. We've got a piece of software that, I mean, both of us went, which is probably one of the reasons why it's shut down. But in an area that we've spoke about time and time again, that we don't have the innovation that we really need, where the best piece of software out there is being destroyed at this point in time.
Have you seen the website?
No, I didn't look at the website. Should I?
I'm not seeing something like that since before Ask Jeeves. Right.
I think everyone. So the payroll site. So it is. Is it the payrollsite.co.uk?
Oh,
wow. Okay, right, everybody. So that's
why they're going bust. Ladies and gentlemen, the importance of a modern website.
Wow, that is a scary. Yeah. Anyway, back to the original point. It's sad though that the software's going, and maybe the software's going because of all the changes that are coming next year, like with the P11D, with the expenses coming directly in, all of that sort of stuff coming our way. That's probably why software like this can't continue, because we've always said, right, the problem with the payroll side of things is there's so much compliance they have to keep up on. How can they give us a fancy new feature when they're constantly having to chase their tails and bring one in? We would love a piece of payroll software that will connect natively to our practice management software. That will be huge for us, right? But finding a software that's got the capability and the capacity.
Watch this space.
Potentially, but we've got to, we've been asking for it for such a long time. And when Bright Pay
just come along.
Yeah, but when Bright Pay and Bright are the same company and even they can't figure it and find the capacity to do it. But that's where we're going for, right? But yeah, it's one of those, right, where it's difficult to kind of go through. I mean, my payroll provider, KPM, loving it, really, really good, but they haven't been able to innovate in a long time, because all they're doing is making sure that they get the right capacity out there. And I do, we can talk about long in the tooth about the QuickBooks payroll and QuickBooks payroll advance, and there's a lot to talk about there. But
there's another season coming my way if we carry on that topic. Let's move on.
But this is definitely something that is going to be a problem if we can't find a way to make it so that these payroll providers can innovate and can grow and can have time to update their website. We're not going to be able to have a very helpful space, are we?
No, I'm sorry, I'm still giggling at this website. If that's your website, then what's the software look like?
We can start a free trial between now and the 2025.
I'm sure it's the accounting systems they link to. Free agent.
Got it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Good choice. QuickBooks Online. Nice. Sage Business Cloud. Sage Desktop Softwares. QuickFile.
Wow, QuickFile's still around.
Cashflow. Who's missing, guys? Xero.
Yeah.
So,
you don't want to taint your product, right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
if anything,
actually, I really like this product. Great product, this one. Yeah, I think if everyone around, everyone who listens to us, if they go start a free trial now, we might be able to resurrect them, because I think the sign-ups might be pretty good. But yeah, it's not good. The fact that the payroll situation at the moment, really difficult for people to go out there and make a splash on it. And yeah, we're losing no one. So
there are a few companies out there making a splash, but my concern is people like Payroll Site going bust, Employment Hero leaving the market in regards to providing software provision.
Well, apparently there's apparently a U-turn there, but we're sat here going tinfoil hat moment. Exactly.
Yeah. It's obviously a hard work solution space. I speak to the guys at Buddy HR, which we're using, and it's a real tough sell to convince accountants that spending £500 a year on software is then costing you $2,500-3,000 a year in extra wage bills because it's not automated enough. Whereas you spend more per month on the software, you actually save money in the long run because you're not spending as much on wages. But it's a hell of a battle because it's all intangible, it's all theoretical. Yes, I've done it. I've stood there for many years saying, look, I've compared myself to other accountants. Right, how many staff have you got delivering that? Oh, I've got 3.5. I said, well, I've got the same amount of pay slips and I've got 1.5 because I've got better software. What's saving me, But yeah, it's a really tough sell, especially when you've got people like MoneySoft, etc. I mean, BrightPay are trying to get away from their desktop solution and they can't. So
because we're fighting it, right, as an industry. We're like, no, I want the cheap and cheerful, and it's not because we want the cheap and cheerful because we're tight. Well, we're accountants, we are tight, but we want the cheap and cheerful because that's what our clients are willing to pay. And we've said so many times, the only way to make it lucrative is to add in HR, and then we're adding a whole level of complexity. Even again, let's go back to Bright. They don't have a Bright HR. Well, there is a Bright HR. It's just a different company that ironically doesn't integrate with Bright. But it is so difficult out there. I'm worried about how payroll is going to go going forward. I just don't see the innovation we need. I just don't see that. That's the one area of our industry.
There is some innovation there. Buddy Payroll HR are doing some interesting things, and they've got some great ideas. Fresh Pay, they're challenging things. My concern with payroll at the moment is it's such a hard sell to get people from desktop to cloud. That who's got the funds and the investment to survive long enough to build up the client base?
Because both of those are nice products, but they're very small in terms of investment and everything else, right?
Buddy's probably got a better chance at it because they've got a European company up and running fine.
Yeah.
They're new to the UK market, but they've got the backing behind them.
Yeah.
Any new softwares in payroll world, it's a scary place to be unless you've got a lot of investment.
And you know, your Zeros of the world and all them, they have the investment and they can't make it work. So
like we get asked all the time, could you do accounts production and tax returns at Engager? Like, no,
absolutely not.
QuickBooks and Xero can't get this bloody thing to work, and they've got millions and millions of pounds and a huge development team. What chance have we got?
Yeah.
Well,
And payroll's in that same bracket, right? Like
payroll, taxes, accounts production. It's a bottomless pit of costs, and you spend most of your development time and resources, like you said, on just maintaining the rules. Like if we listen to rumors, the employers' national insurance rates and stuff are going to go up at the end of October in line with the new budget. Well, that's an adjustment that the softwares have got to make. But actually, they aren't going to know until we know that that's happening. So they don't get any heads up or anything. So
this new P11D ruling, like I think it's going to be really like, as accountants, we've got to staff that. We've got to figure that out. And as for a software provider, they've got to make that seamless as possible. Like if this is a clunky experience, we'll be jumping ship. As simple as that, because we can't have, you know, for the few P11Ds that we probably still have as a, you know, an industry, because they are less and less now. But for those ones we do have, we're going to have to find a way to be able to deliver that in an efficient manner. So it's really tricky, really tricky. Going from there, let's see what people have said. Victoria, good morning, Victoria. Glad to see you, and congratulations on the Friday club as well. It's going well. Paul says Fresh Pay seems to be doing really well with the updates and features. Yeah, we've heard a lot of nice things about Fresh Pay. Kirsty says, wow, that is an old school. I'm old. We had PVC Micro at school as new. So yeah, that website is please go and have a look at it, and go through from there. Fresh Pay, the Engager, the payroll world. That's a big shout there, Rachel. Big shout. We trust you with that one, but that is a big shout. Paul says latest is looking at holiday calendar tracking. This must be Fresh Pay. No one's got that right. Like this is one of those bugbearers of mine that no one's got that right. Even when we pay a premium for software, how many times be careful, might break the website bandwidth if we start asking everyone to sign up. Yep, you're right there. Probably don't go to their website. It's probably the right thing we should be saying. Love Moneysoft. Don't do many payrolls, to be fair. Yeah, Moneysoft's one of those ones been around for a while, right? But
they are part of the problem.
Yeah,
like Moneysoft, BrightPay, Desktop. They are the ones that have caused this problem. Now that we're not willing to pay the extra money to go cloud-based, because we aren't getting the extra functionality at this time.
100%. Well, let's end the show on a little personal plug for yourself, Johann. I heard that little birdie told me that you've released a pricing guide into the world. How has it gone? Where did it come from? What was the inspiration behind it? How long did it take to write? Give us some BST. Go for it.
So
BTS, not BST.
So I've made the ultimate pricing guide for accountants and bookkeepers. I did not name it. That is not my ego naming that. Ash named it when I sent it to him to proofread. But I wanted to cut out all the bump that is out there. I just want to go, look, these are the ranges of pricing we're seeing at Engager, having spoken to many accountants. So if you think like we're doing 3 or 4 demos a day for the last 2 years, we speak to a lot of people. We then help people understand how to use BODMAS in the advanced equations and stuff. So we see a lot of information. So I wanted to try and summarize it as best I could. Not last night, the Sunday night before, I was sat watching some rubbish on telly, and I got my iPad out and I started typing this all up in Apple Notes, which is great. Then I put it into ChatGPT saying, this is the guide I've written. Have you got any other topic ideas and chapters? And it said, oh, this is really good. Should you cover this? And should you cover that? So, that's really good. So done that. And we put it out to our community, the Engager community, completely free of charge. Didn't even charge them for their email address there. So went down really well. Lots and lots of lovely feedback. and then we put it out for anyone to be able to download across social medias. Did that Friday, I think it was. It's had a couple of hundred downloads already. Again, more great feedback coming in. It was only ever meant as a bit of a marketing lead magnet thing for when I'm on webinars and stuff, to send the URL out and people can just download it. We get their email address and we can market to them. You know, as every accounting and bookkeeping firm should have. We should all have that lead magnet PDF guide type thing to get our email lists built up and continuously adding onto it. However, there are, you know, I mean, this guide is version 2 because I had to go in and make a couple of adjustments in line with some initial feedback and questions. I'm already working on version 3, and we are looking at whether we should make it available in more formats. So not everyone likes a PDF. Some people like a Kindle. So we're looking at what are the implications of doing it, putting it onto the Kindle store. We're looking at the implications of a paperback, not as much for selling it. I mean, it could be available on Amazon to sell, but more so that we can then order it off Amazon ourselves as a printed book and then give it away as on our stands at exhibitions and stuff. So you know, so many options there. And yeah, I mean, it was only ever meant to be a short PDF guide. But you know, when you just get into the moment and you're just there going, and you go to bed late a few nights in a row, and that's it, you've got a 7,500 61 page document in front of you. It's like, oops, might have overdone it on this one. But yeah, it's going to be ever evolving. Lots and lots of absolutely lovely feedback. If you think it's crap, tell me. And yeah, it's there for anyone to download and have access to. And the theory is you can use what's in that book on any pricing tool. That was my theory. I've now done some more digging and you can't. Because it turns out not every pricing tool is built equally.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize until it was pointed out to us during the demo last week that, oh no, Go Proposal only lets you use 5 key pricing indicators per service. And it's like, oh, really? So I had to play. Oh yeah, you can only do that on 5. Bright Propose only let you use 3. And it's the same 3, and you can't even build your own. And it's like, oh God, okay. So actually, if you do want to put the information in the book to use to the best degree, you will need to use Engager pricing tool. But if you want to keep a simpler equation, then what you read from the book and the pricing ranges we're seeing and stuff like that could be used in any tool or spreadsheet for that matter. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. I wasn't expecting to be writing and publishing a guide, but there we go. All fun and games. The link is available on my social medias. It's on the Practice Management Excellence group, etc. Aaron, can we stick? I can't put it in here for some reason. I can't comment. I've put it in the private chat for you.
Yeah, I'll put it.
But yeah, feel free to download it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. If you say a particularly nice thing, it might go on the blurb. If you say something constructive, then it will lead to an improvement in the next version.
Yeah, we have got that link
offline.
We've got that link out there. Amazing. No, I think it's brilliant. And I think timing, obviously, you know, there's a bit of a, you knew what you were doing at this one point, but the timing of just having your proposal software coming out at the same time as the proposal PDF generator at the same time, because that was one thing where I know a lot of people were not put off, but it was like, I couldn't make a custom PDF thing, right? Like it wasn't there, was it? It was, you know, now you've given the option, not only can they have a better pricing model to get the pricing right, but they can present it pretty much however they want right now.
Yeah, I mean, up until last Sunday, it genuinely was not even a thought or a flicker in my mind to do a pricing guide whatsoever. It genuinely wasn't. I'm one of those people that my mind has to be in the right place at the right time to do something, especially when it comes to writing and reading. I hate it, but it just an idea came to me and I actioned it, which is what I always do with my ideas. It's all well and good saying, I've got all these great ideas, but if you don't do anything about it, then they're pointless. So I'm very much one of those, right, I've got an idea. I need to get this down. I need to get this started now.
100% agree. No, I love it. I think it was a brilliant. I was shocked as anyone to see that appear overnight, but it's good. It's good. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant piece of literature out there, and I think it. Like you said, it does work perfectly with Client Engager, but you can try and adopt it for anything. You could build it on Excel if you really want to.
Yeah.
I would say though that if people are looking out there and they're thinking, well, my practice management tool doesn't give me this, you can just use Client Engager as just a pricing tool if you really want to. Like it is built that way. So if you just want it as a pricing tool, then you do have that option. A little bit fiddly, you don't quite get all the bells and whistles, but it is there if you want it. Brilliant. Well, we have to push back 3 topics to one this time. So Access by Tradeify and Swift Analytics as acquisition by Xero. We're going to talk about next week, hopefully. And I promise you, social media posts of the week will come back at some point. We've got too much to talk about these days. We're supposed to be in the quiet period. This was supposed to be where we needed these extra topics to go over and talk about. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for all your feedback. Victoria says, but it's a great name. So people are loving the name that go through there. Paul says, FreshPay have regular webinars where they're looking for feedback. If you get some thoughts on Holiday Tracker, why not jump in? More than happy to. Let me know when it's on. Have you looked at Who's Off? One of my clients use it. Oh, is that a recommendation for a holiday tracker that could work for me? I am very much excited if that's the case. And do you have a link? Link is just above there, Victoria. Hopefully it's working for you. All you need to do is provide an email address and you have access to it as we've spoke about. Or you can get it without an email address if you go to the Practice Manager excellent group on Facebook. Well, there we are, Johann. Another week done with Ask the Accountant. We've got some really exciting weeks coming up, haven't we? So watch this space on the socials, including very potential exciting live webinar from somewhere. I wonder where that could be. In person, live. And if that does go ahead and does there, and you are at that event, I'm sure people can try and figure it out. Why not come to the booth and actually come join on the webinar as well, on the podcast as well. Come along and say hello.
The doors are open by that point.
I think they are. Are they?
Okay, I don't know. We'll check.
I think they are. If they are, then come along and say hi and join in. Thanks, Linda. Thank you very much for that one. We are back, same place, same time, same social. Well, actually, we're back on our Instagram properly next time, no doubt. So one of us couldn't figure out how to use Instagram this morning. But we're back, same place, same time, this time next week. As always, thank you very much for everyone who's coming in with the comments, putting from there. Again, thank you so much for making me the hero behind the hero award winner, multi-award winner now, just like to put it out there. It's going to be upsetting, isn't it, in next week when we don't have an award show off,
We'll just make something fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. But no, thanks everyone for getting me involved in that award. Really appreciate it. Very humbling. And next week, we will be back with some great topics to talk about. So thanks everyone. It's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.
Now, in theory, with this brand new StreamYard, this should be even easier to do because I just press end stream, make sure the outro is already loaded, play outro, and end stream. So goodbye all.
Bye. Bye.